Now, speaking of using art to solve a problem, you're the probably one of the first in Asia to introduce the term trashing. Yeah, turning trash into fashion, and that would have been your shot to fame in putting yourself in the international spotlight. Can you bring us to almost a decade ago on how you came up with the idea of turning trashes into fashion?
Oh, okay, right. Well, trashion as a term has been used in New Zealand back 2005, but then I've never heard of it yet. In 2000, well, I mean, in 2000,
because we spoke about it, yes.
Yes. A decade ago, 2012, I co-founded this organization, youth organization, along with my friends Eric Smith, Fiona Lim, Steph Valios. We co-founded Youth for Livable Communities. And the goal of that was to become a creative platform for the youth to find solutions in urban problems. Now, my proposal was to help solve solid waste problems, because back in 2012, I was in my car driving and in our downtown, and 30 minutes of rain. It just rained, and then boom, I was stuck in a flooded road. And then I realized that the cause of the flooding was actually because of our drainage full of plastic, of garbage. And so when I went back home, I realized that we have to find a way that communicates to people about garbage. And we have to brand garbage or trash in such a way that resonates strongly to the market, which is basically the Filipino market or the Southeast Asian market. And I've realized that it's actually we're so big in fashion. We love to be fashionable. And so my passion has been about working with trash and fashion. And so I thought of trashon or trash fashion, or my passion is trash and fashion, so trashon. And then I realized, it's actually a term that they actually use in New Zealand. So okay,
what a coincidence.
I would say it was a coincidence.
They say that great minds think alike, and there is no new ideas that has not been thought of before.
I totally agree.
So that is a great validation of your state of mind.
Well, I hope so, and it's actually working. You know what? Let me tell you a story that when I was starting, my friends, my very own friends in the design industry, they were the ones who told me that it's not gonna work. It's just a fad. Sustainable design or sustainable fashion is just going to be this year. That was 10 years ago, a decade ago. But then now we have biggest brands, commercial brands, fashion brands, working with single-use plastics or ocean plastics for their textiles, for their fabrics, for their shoes. We could be wearing a pair of pants or a pair of jeans made from 24 plastic bottles or PET bottles, PET. And those are basically, that is basically trashon, using trash to be able to work with fashion. And it's a very good validation. Back in 2016, when they had the red carpet using recycled plastic bottles. They were wearing recycled plastic bottles, extruded fiber in their gowns. So I guess it was in MoMA. I'm not quite sure. Back in 2016, 17.
So back then, when calling yourself an artist, would have drawn a lot of eyebrows, raising of eyebrows, and people would have called you crazy. But you went to another level of extreme, to use trashes. Can you share with us the kind of uphill battle it was for you? And was it even practical? I mean, they're smelly, they're inconsistent, the materials. You must be having full of inspirations and ideas throughout, day in and out, in order to create something out of virtually nothing.
Well, in the beginning, it was a challenge. It was definitely a challenge because we didn't know first how to approach it. However, along the process, we realized that we needed to work with different stakeholders, and we worked with businesses. And so we approached businesses, and then we curated their garbage. And with those curated trash, which is trash out from them, but then trash in for us, we were able to look at different types of garbage and then create material manipulation out of specific garbage and then have them standardize. Now we are working with different textile factories in Thailand as well as in Taiwan on how they have worked with PET with their textiles. And so it was a long journey. It was a difficult journey. In fact, I'm a self-made or self-funding artist. So everything had to come from my personal pocket. And so the process was quite tedious and quite expensive. But then I'm very happy that when we see... Sorry, what?
You've got through the dip.
I would believe that we were able to achieve our goal, which is to make people understand that sustainability is something that we need to work on. Environmental awareness is something that is not just a fad, but it is something that we need to work on.
Francis, we know that we are living in an unprecedented time, which is COVID-19. And the World Economic Forum, called this an opportunity for the Great Reset. And I've read articles after articles that the green is going to be the new black. After this Great Reset, why is sustainability important? Why are you devoting your life into this cause?
On a personal level, I understand that this is part of my mother's legacy, because we grew up in a family where my mom always taught us to be mindful about the environment. That is the legacy that she has shared to me and to my sister. But then on the others, on a professional level, we have seen how the destruction of nature, how this pandemic has been caused because of our irresponsible deeds towards our natural environment. If we continue to destroy nature and unleash all these things that we have not even known yet, it will continue. And so it's not just about it's what's in, but it is what is necessary.
So it's not a fashion statement.
No, not at all. These outbreaks, the root cause of it is really because of our destruction of Mother Nature and our lack of understanding of the impacts of it. And so the Great Reset is really about us on personal and community and capitalistic level on how we are going to turn around and reset it's basically a paradigm shift. It's a paradigm shift of how we think, our business models, and how we have framed capitalism to the detriment of our nature.